How's it going, everybody? I'm the BTC Reaper. My goal on this channel is to teach you how to reap the rewards of trading with the prices going up or down. Over on total for the daily, we did try to break that support like we've been saying to watch for, but we have an indecision candle here, so if followed by a green candle, we could pump up and invalidate bearish momentum. At VWAP does want to pull back, bringing momentum lower and causing money flow to remain in the red, but if we look over at the 1 hour here, we are breaking through this resistance area. We do currently have a lower high, so if we push back below this support, I would watch for a lower low. A lower low, according to the MPP, could bring us below that 717 billion. So I would watch for that. That would lead all of our altcoins lower. But if we are able to hold above this level, it does look like we could make a bounce. Our MPP does not suggest any kind of bounce, but I would watch for a higher high with higher lows. The next high likely would try this 767 and then hopefully continue beyond toward this 785. That VWAP does have a strong bullish wave right now, and if that can maintain, if we keep seeing higher highs with higher lows here, momentum will push forward, money flow will break into the green, and we will continue to pump up. So this could be a temporary correction, just with all the news on tariffs and the news with the war and other things going on geopolitically. So if we look over at Bitcoin futures, we did create the gap that we said to watch for, so that's very positive, because remember, this gives us a range where we can jump back to later on. Our stochastic does want to round. Our VWAP is getting a lower high, so watch for consistent lows. Momentum is weakening with a red dot as a result, and money flow is in the red. So I would watch the lower time frame here on the 1 hour. Over on the 1 hour, we have that big gap that we said would likely form, and now we have some sideways action. So I would watch, because last time we went sideways, we did drop a little bit. Our stochastic does want to push up, RSI wants to push forward, VWAP is gaining strength, pushing momentum higher, and causing that money flow to remain in the green. So if that VWAP can sustain above this neutral, we could continue forward, and our MPP says there's a very high chance of filling that gap, at which point we would hopefully break through and then continue forward, hopefully finally breaking that value area high, and then seeing our new high form sometime after that. Over on Bitcoin for the daily, again, indecision candle, we did get our full breakdown from our descending channel, so hopefully you were watching for that, and you have taken at least some advantage of this DCA range if you haven't been buying recently. If VWAP does have a low, we do have a lower high, so I would watch that VWAP very close, as that is leading momentum lower with a red dot, causing money flow to remain in the red, and if that continues, we will continue to sell off. But over on the 1 hour, there's about a 33% chance that we still push back toward that 93k resistance. I would watch, hopefully we land somewhere in the middle between that and our 85k probability. Now, if we do not get higher highs with higher lows here, our MPP is projecting we can still drop to that 80k range. Our stochastic does want to push up, RSI is trying to push forward, VWAP is gaining strength, momentum is pushing up, but that money flow is in the red. If that VWAP can continue to push forward here, then momentum will gain strength, money flow will continue to push up, and then we could reverse bearish momentum. So right now, it does look like we are starting to tip the scales, but we need that VWAP to stay bullish. Over on graph for the daily, we pushed down toward that value area low. We got that low that we said to watch for yesterday, so hopefully if you wanted some, you got in on that candle. Our stochastic does want to push up, RSI is pushing forward. Remember, the only people getting in on that candle are people that set their orders ahead of time. So if you want some coins at a certain value, make sure you're setting your limit orders before that value is hit. And the sooner, the more likely you're going to get filled, because orders are filled from most oldest to newest. So if you're just putting in like 2 minutes ago and someone had that order a month ago, that person a month ago is going to get filled before you. Our VWAP is favoring bearish, momentum is dropping away, money flow is pretty flat, so watch that VWAP. If it continues lower, then it's likely we would continue down. But again, our MPP here does say we can hit that 10-cent area, but remember, it goes somewhere in the middle. Hopefully we just see higher highs with higher lows, and we do not get hung up around this 8574. If we do and get a rejection, then it is probable that we break this support level and then continue lower, so I would exercise caution on that, as I don't think we've really been much lower than the support level. We have been right around that 5.5, but we would not want to revisit that in my opinion. Over on the 1 hour, it looks like we do want to continue forward here. VWAP is running up very good with higher highs and higher lows, pushing momentum higher. If this can continue, money flow will start to reverse, and if that money flow can flip to red from red into the green, then we'll see higher time frames strengthen, and we will have an environment for strong green candles. Now, over on XRP, remember, if you haven't already, hit the like and subscribe. Join us in the Discord, and if you have any special requests, drop them in chat, because we're done after XRP. But it does look like we did get an early breakaway, like we warned of. We got about a third of the move down, and we are currently retesting. So this is a very critical candle, because if followed by a red candle, we're going to continue lower. Stochastic doesn't want to push up. VWAP is trying to break that neutral. Momentum is pushing forward, and the money flow is starting to curl up. So if that VWAP can break through, that money flow could potentially shift into the green. Over on the 1 hour here, we do have a lower low with a consistent high, so I would watch this very closely. Not really any patterns we can make from that. But our MPP does say there's a chance to push beyond this bear flag and push into our previous range where we're on that 220. So hopefully you bought somewhere around this like $1.95, $2 range like we've been saying to do for days. Our stochastic does want to round away. RSI is starting to curl. VWAP is pulling back. Momentum is rounding, and money flow is pulling back. But that VWAP is in a bullish trend. So if it can stay above that neutral, we can continue with higher highs and higher lows to continue forward. I would like to see us push somewhere around that 199, like the MPP says, make a bounce, and then continue forward from there. If we break below this, I'd say 196,660, then that could be very bad and lead us down a bad path, just like those repeating numbers. We'll get that right here for you, Adam. Thank you for dropping a request. Hope you're having a great day. Over on Anchor for the daily, we do have an indecision candle here as well. Our MPP does say we could push back toward that 2020, 50% probability, and a 50% probability of pushing up to the 3485. So quite the range there. Again, look somewhere in the midpoint. Maybe we get stuck right around that 2673. So we do have a consistent low compared to back here. We do have a drop, a rise, and a drop. This could be a double bottom. That double bottom would be what would try to take us somewhere near that midpoint range. Our stochastic is starting to push down, RSI is starting to weaken, and VWAP is starting to favor bearish, bringing momentum lower and causing that money flow to remain in the red. So I would watch the 1 hour very closely. We do need this VWAP to continue with the bullish trend we're seeing on the 1 hour. We have higher highs with higher lows, helping push price up. And if we can continue with higher highs and higher lows on price, we can push forward. There is a 34% chance of breaking that 2020. So not the highest chance. Again, aim somewhere in the midpoint if we continue seeing higher highs and higher lows. If we cannot get above the range we're at right now, though, there is a high chance of pushing to the 15.19. So if you're worried, maybe you want to set some sort of order around the 16 cent, 15 cent range, and then hopefully we would continue a bounce there. But right now that VWAP is bullish, money flows in the green, and if that holds, we will start to strengthen those higher time frames and see a push forward. Have a great night, everyone. Thank you for watching. Join us in the Discord, hit the like and subscribe, and see you tomorrow.